Are you feeling the squeeze of the high-cost metropolitan area wherever you're living?
Or maybe you just hate those 2-hour commutes in Florida, or the high property taxes of New York, or the frantic, anonymous lifestyle of LA or Chicago. Basically, you want a place where your dollar goes significantly further, and while you can find a home with a real yard, sense of community, and belonging, but you don't have to sacrifice your professional opportunities or high quality of life.
And that's why we are seeing such a massive flux of professional families moving right here to Pitt County, North Carolina, which the center is the Greenville, North Carolina. But once you decided that region is the right fit for you, the next big question is that we get asked every single week. For example, Greenville, North Carolina, or for example, Ayden, North Carolina.
Yeah, because once you start looking up the research, you see there's actually more than one town in Pitt County. So today we're going to break down the hard data, the lifestyle, the specific variables of both Greenville, North Carolina and Ayden, North Carolina to help you decide which one might be best for your long-term family goals.
Exactly. Therefore, as a real estate agents group, which is me and my wife mainly, we are specialized in the move-up market, homes that is $300,000 to $1 million range in our area. This is our super luxury, by the way, which is different from other states like California, no? And we see the nonsense that is simple online search that is not showing you whole picture and the truths that you are searching for.
Now let's talk about the two different cities, right? We said Greenville versus Ayden. Now in Greenville, it's the urban energy, and in Ayden, you're going to be more of a suburban, sparse feeling. Big, lots are going to be bigger. Now this is basically the vibe. You're driving into town. You see the second you drive into town, you're going to see all the restaurants and all the bright lights of Greenville. It is absolutely the undisputed economic and cultural center of the region. It is a mid-sized city. About 100,000 to 120. There's some arguments because of the 2020 data, but it is a dynamic place to be. The energy here is, of course, we do have a college area, the ECU, and there's a massive amount of ECU out. We also, on our website, Living in Greenville, have 14 other major employers listed there, so that way you can see. But either way, it's vibrant, it's active, and it's growing. It's been growing pretty steadily, up nearly 7% since the data of whatever that might be in 2020.
In Greenville, North Carolina, there is always a new restaurants opening. That's what we have right now in the East Fire Tower Road, and also Davenport Farm. We have more area that is coming. And basically the sport events to attend for the East Carolina University or community festivals that we had in our channel, different actually about those festivals in the Uptown District.
Now, about 10 miles south, not that far, about 15 minutes, you're going down Highway 11, you're going to pass Sam's Club, eventually going to hit Ayden. You get to the McDonald's, you're at the Ayden. Now, that's how I can tell on 11.
Ayden, North Carolina.
Right, see, that's how I can tell. McDonald's and the Food Lion there. Now, if Greenville is the high-powered energy life of the university, Ayden is the quiet, resilient strength of a historic North Carolina. It does have more than McDonald's, but it is a much smaller place. It has 5,200 people, and it offers it is growing, but it is growing more differently. It's much more established atmosphere.
Exactly. Basically, the data shows that 92% of the Ayden, North Carolina residents were in the same house a year ago compared to just 73% in Greenville, North Carolina. If we look at the number, 92% versus 73%. That tells you something important. What is that?
Ayden is where people tend to stay for the long haul. It's more of the sparse suburban feel. It was very rural. Now it's become more suburban, but life is slower. The layout is more historic, center core, and Ayden has that classic North Carolina feel. It is really a rare commodity in our fast-growing area.
Now, our bread and butter, really, me and my wife, is about the housing market, no? And this is where our expertise comes beside of every information that we provide for you in this video. This is where the things get really interesting for the home buyers in the range of $300,000 or above, that segment of the $3,100. On the paper, Ayden, North Carolina actually looks more expensive right now, which is crazy, no? And which surprises almost everyone that moving out of a state, coming to the Pitt County, North Carolina, which is Ayden's one of the town in Pitt County, North Carolina. What is the truth?
The truth is, Ayden has trended towards 317, 450. Greenville is 278, but the reason is it's the new build premium. Greenville has a massive amount of inventory, including a lot of historic, a lot of bungalows, a lot near the university, and a lot of mansions and everything in between. So there's a median price that's going to be for everything. Now, what is Ayden?
Ayden housing market, however, is being driven almost entirely by brand new home and some luxury yes subdivision. And if you're looking for established luxury, for example, in Greenville, North Carolina, you're likely you can add neighborhoods that could be, one of them could be Brook Valley. We have more that is, we can talk about.
Brook Valley starts at 421. This is a golf course community. If you're looking for the food, like a community where you have an HOA and a food and getting together, and they have mature trees, traditional brick, that's one. What's another one?
The Ironwood is one of the premier golf course community in Greenville, North Carolina. It features high-end custom homes, often ranging from mid-400 to $1.5 million. But if you want a brand new home, a smell, and more modern square footage for your money, Ayden, North Carolina, actually exploding with what we call it?
Attainable luxury.
Attainable luxury.
Starter luxury.
And look at the subdivision, like, for example, Montebello.
And a few others.
And few others. These are high-end homes situated next to the Ayden Golf and County Club, and often reaching to $420,000 range.
Now, basically, you can go to Dale Farm, where you can find Eastridge. I should have meant Eastridge. Eastridge is $2,800 to $30,000.
Dale Farm is basically in Farmville, North Carolina.
Sorry,
sorry for the confusion.
I said it wrong. But $28,000 to $3,000, both $300,000. But these aren't perfect. You're going to get the 5-bedroom, the 3-car garage, but you're not getting the $600,000 Raleigh price tag. And maybe you have to drive a minute to the golf course. But if you want the same golf course community, that's why I brought Montebello first.
Exactly. Therefore, $350,000, that's the safe place that actually looking at this 4-bedroom or 5-bedroom that we were talking about in those communities. Now, looking now at the economy hubs and basically your daily, how is going to look like the daily life that we have in these towns.
Now, most professionals are coming to our area are in lots of different areas, but basically you're going to be looking at Greenville as the hub of where it is, like ECU Health, Thermo Fisher. These are one of the many. I mean, if you're looking to live there, Greenville is going to be, if you live in Greenville, you're going to be about 5 to 10 minutes to your office maybe, but if you want to, you're going to have to go with the 8th Street, 10th Street connector. You're going to have to deal with the infrastructure of the city that's very growing. You're going to have to deal a little bit more of the inner city traffic. Whereas Ayden is becoming a bedroom community for a lot of people in the ECU area or the medical district or many other areas, which means your commute is going to be 22 minutes, but you're taking the bypass, the Highway 11 or the bypass, straight into wherever you're trying to go, straight into the retail and more medical corridor, so you're not going on city streets.
Therefore, Ayden has rapidly become a premier bedroom community for the medical district, as my wife said, 23 to 24 minutes in average. And the average commute, as we said, 22 minutes. And one of the things for all the relocation home buyers that coming to the area, they should keep it in their mind. In Ayden, North Carolina, definitely you need to own your car because you need to really drive. And car ownership is a requirement. While in Greenville, North Carolina has a good bus system.
It's called great.
It's called great. I wanted to say great, but it's called great really, the system. We have some walkable pockets in Greenville in the uptown area, but Ayden is really traditional driving community.
Now, if you're choosing Ayden, you're making a conscious choice because you're trading in you are getting a longer commute by a little bit, 22 minutes, not that crazy, but you're getting a quieter backyard, you're getting a lower, denser area. Now, let's deep dive into utilities and taxes, which is something that, the death is the tax and taxes, but utilities and taxes are what we have to deal with every single month. So this is a huge part of the guide. So let's look at the real numbers. The total cost of mortgage is not just how much you actually pay the bank.
Exactly. Therefore, for professional families, these hidden costs can add up to the thousands of dollars a year. That's why we need to talk about this total cost that we wanted to share with you. Greenville, North Carolina actually has a major advantage when it comes to unseen monthly bills because Greenville has a massive commercial tax base. And think the Greenville Mall, for example, the hospital, the industrial parks, the residential property tax basically is lower. Currently is starting at 0.3954, which is hard to say the decimals when we were talking about.
Ayden does have a much bigger one because it has a smaller commercial footprint. So let's just talk about that in real numbers, will you?
Exactly. Therefore, the Ayden rate instead of 0.3954 is 0.54, where you can look at this decimal that what is the difference is. Now, if you wanted to give you a big picture, because this decimal is hard to even remember, let's say for $300,000 home, a single family home, you will pay about $850 more per year in property tax in Ayden, North Carolina than you would pay in Greenville, North Carolina.
Now let's talk about utilities, right? GUC is a massive multi-service provider, one of the lowest electric rates in the rate, even though we all complain about it, but it is often 14 to 20% lower than the North Carolina average. Whereas Ayden does what?
Ayden, North Carolina basically operates its own municipal utility system, while Greenville running on Greenville Utility Commission or GUC that my wife's saying, this Ayden is very historical and the rates of those are higher than Greenville, North Carolina.
And that's a monthly fee everybody talks about right away, utility based. Let's just hypothetically say my numbers are too small. Let's just hypothetically your everything including electric, water, sewer. Maybe that comes to $200 a month in Greenville, but in Ayden that's going to be closer to $300.
Yeah, something like between $270 to $300. You can see that difference of just the utility company, the historical one in Ayden versus Greenville Utility Commission is change the number for your utility bills.
But you have to really consider, is that $1,400 a year maybe and that utility cost going to be the reason why you don't get that brand new house or buy the golf course at a much cheaper price? So you just have to remember to factor it into your numbers and really just calculate it out. Now for many people who want the larger lots, they want the community feel, and maybe you're going to get a septic and so that price will be lower. But you want to make sure you're going into the deal with eyes open, not surprise after. Now let's talk about lifestyle and amenities, because this is really the big difference.
Exactly. Therefore, finally, let's talk about how you spend your free time in both of this city, either in Greenville, North Carolina or Ayden, North Carolina. In Greenville, you have urban collegiate lifestyle. That's what we have in Greenville.
Anyway.
Okay, you got River Park North, over 300 acres, hiking, kayaking. What is the other one?
You have some places for summer concerts. You have lots of shopping in the Greenville Mall, University Commons. There's a bazillion. I told you, where you're driving into Greenville, you're going to see the dining scene right when you step off. There's a huge, diverse dining scene. Anything from upscale farm to table, to international cuisine, to anything that you're really looking for. And of course, there is, since we are a college town, there's still culture, arts, athletics at world-class destinations.
Exactly. Therefore, you need to remember when we say college town is mostly in downtown area. And when you're coming to different part of Greenville, don't think that, oh, this is all about the college town. And that's not the truth either. Therefore, in Ayden, the lifestyle is around the tradition as we talk. You cannot talk about Ayden without talking about the food. It is internationally famous for Skylight Inn Barbecue, James Byrd award-winning, and whole hog barbecue that people actually love because it drives the traffic across the area in the county to eat in this place.
Now, another thing to talk about is the Ayden Collard Festival. Is a local tradition where the whole town gets together every year, where you do see your neighbors at the grocery store, but you can actually have a conversation with them at the Collard Festival. And it's a town where there is a historic district. There's agricultural roots, absolutely, that are completely on display.
Exactly. Now, look at this if you wanted to choose Greenville, for example. If you wanted to be institutional, convenience, and lower monthly overhead if you want it to be 5 minutes, for example, from your work, or 10 minutes, and have lower utility bills and one of the wide range of the retail dining option at your fingertips, Greenville, North Carolina could be an option for you.
Now, if you want to make sure that you're getting Ayden because you want the homegrown lifestyle, brand new homes, you want a little bit more space in your house and a quieter community where you have to disconnect from the hustle and bustle of the day, maybe Ayden is the place for you. They are both places in the region. We're talking about 20 minutes. We are not talking about hours-long drive, but it is a place to really think about and something to consider. We are real estate agents. We love talking about all of the areas in our area: Greenville, Winterville, Ayden, Bethel. If you want to talk about Bethel, Farmville, which I mentioned a minute ago on accident. So there's a lot of things, but we really do look at the data to help you make the best decisions that you can.
Exactly. Therefore, please click in the description below and book a free 15 minutes strategy call with us. Alan Victoria Pinder, real estate agent in Greenville and Winterville, and we always look at the specific needs, your budget, and help you to find a perfect Carolina home for you. And don't forget to subscribe in our channel. We love to connect with you, and also watch all of our playlists, everything about what is happening in Greenville, Pitt County, and the whole towns that all the Pitt County includes in. We are here for you, and see you next time.